All right. On 7, it says choosing your method of choice, either factoring or quadratic formula to solve this. So I'm going to work it both ways just so you can see the benefits. Some might be harder, or might be easier for you factoring or using the quadratic formula. Okay, so we're going to start off with factoring. So we've got 2x squared plus 1x minus 3 equals 0. So to factor, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use the bottoms up method. So we want to multiply a times c. So we're going to do 2 times negative 3, which gives me negative 6. And if you need to, you can use your calculator and go to your y equals and type in negative 6 divided by x if you need to. Hopefully by now we don't need that to do that anymore because we're pros at finding factors. And so our factors then are 1 and negative 6, 2 and negative 3, 3 and negative 2, and 6 and negative 1. So 1 and negative 6, 2 and negative 3, 3 and negative 2, and 6 and negative 1. You can see that right there. Okay, so we're finding our factors that are going to add to give us positive 1. So these add to give me negative 5. These add to give me negative 1. These add to give me positive 1. These add to give me positive 5. So we're going to use this set right here. So we're going to do our 2 sets of parentheses. And we're going to do x in the front, positive 3, and negative 2. Remember to use your signs. Don't leave those out. All right, since we multiplied by 2, now we're going to divide by 2. I know some of you are thinking, wow, this seems so long ago that we did this. And we did. It was before spring break and then right after we came back from spring break. So again, since we multiplied by 2, now that's what we divide by. And then we're going to simplify our fractions. If you plug this into your calculator, 3 divided by 2, and hit math and enter, it's just going to stay 3 over 2. Plug this in your calculator, you get 1. Now we don't actually have to move that up because then we are going to turn around and move it right back down. So to find our solutions, it's just the opposite. So the opposite of positive 3/2 is negative 3/2. And the opposite of negative 1 is positive 1. So this is how we would factor to get that solution. Now, the other way to do it is using the quadratic formula, which is what we did up here on all of this, okay? So to do the quadratic formula, we're going to go through and do exactly what we did. We're going to find A, which is 2, B, which is 1, and C, which is negative 3. And we're going to find opposite B, the discriminant, and 2A. Opposite B, opposite of 1 is negative 1. The discriminant is B squared minus 4AC. So 1 goes here, 2 goes here, negative 3 goes here. And then you can go to your calculator and you can type that in. So 1 squared minus 4 times 2 times negative 3 gives you 25. So that means we're going to have 2 solutions. And then 2A, 2 times 2, because A is 2, which is 4. So these 3 numbers that I have right here are what we're going to plug in to find x. So we'll start off with negative 1 plus or minus the square root of 25 over 4. And then we can just type that in the calculator. Of course, some of you might know that, the square root of 25 is 5, and so you could go ahead and do that in your head if you want. But I'm sure most of you will just try to do it in the calculator. So parenthesis, negative 1 plus the square root of 25. Make sure you go out of the radical, close it, and then divide it by 4. So x equals 1. And then we're going to do it again. Second enter and go back. And we're going to change it to a minus sign and hit enter. And x equals negative 1.5. Now if you'll look, it's exactly what we got here. The only difference is one's written as a fraction, one's written as a decimal. They're the same number. Okay? So this is using the quadratic formula. So either method you could use. You can, some of you might prefer this if you were good at factoring. Some of you have become pros at doing quadratic formulas, so you might prefer that method. But either way, you can pick either one to solve those.